Where?
There is an arrow in a trail that says to go that way.
There's something in the woods.
Look, hurry up, just grab that, get in.
See him?
The strangest encounters often begin when something ordinary suddenly stops making sense. From an entire group of people freezing in place at the same time, to an explorer hiding from a vehicle while searching for a lost bunker. Were these just coincidences or warnings to leave? On May 11th, 2025, a video appeared online that left many viewers unsure of what they had just witnessed. The clip, posted by user Wrigley720, was recorded while he and a friend were walking through a wooded area close to a park, while they continued along the edge of the wooded park that day. At first, everything looked completely ordinary, but then he noticed something deeply strange. Every person nearby had suddenly stopped moving and was standing perfectly still.
What's going on here? Got one guy just stood there. He's been stood there for about an hour. This woman just stood here. That guy just stood there. There's a guy 2 trees over there, and then this woman just stood here. But like, what they just stood here doing mad stuff.
The sight was unsettling, and for a moment it almost looked as though the group was under some kind of influence, as if they had taken something that left them behaving like zombies. It certainly would not have been the first clip online to show something similar, but the scene soon became even stranger and more confusing when something unexpected took place.
Like now they've all just started walking, just walking away, just all walking randomly. They're all just stood there, stopped. Now they've all just started walking. Have we just witnessed some like? Have we just witnessed some sort of? What was it? I don't get it. What's going on? What? They've just started walking. Look, she's just walking.
Without warning, everyone started moving again at exactly the same time, almost as though a switch had been turned on. The two friends did not seem to know anyone around them, making the entire incident feel even more disturbing. Commenters quickly began offering explanations, with many believing the two men were not involved and that the people in the park had organized a coordinated prank meant to frighten strangers. One especially interesting comment came from a woman named Lydia, who explained that while she was in college, students sometimes staged similar social experiments simply to confuse people, which could potentially account for what happened here. Still, no one actually knows the truth. Maybe it was a planned prank. Maybe the group was under some kind of influence. Or perhaps it was one of those supposed glitches in the Matrix. If you found yourself in a camping encounter like this, would you stay and try to understand what was happening, or leave the area immediately? Fadi Flashy is a gaming streamer who sometimes shares moments from his daily life. And during one live stream, viewers challenged him to film a video inside the Appalachian forest, creating a situation that resembled a dangerous camping encounter. He hesitated at first, but after some persuasion, he agreed to visit during daylight. What happened there, however, was so unexpected that he probably will not take on another challenge like that anytime soon.
Yo, there's somebody watching you on the back. Where? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Without help from his viewers, he may never have realized that someone was following him. It is impossible to know a stalker's true intentions, and unfortunately, the recording was short, with no later video explaining what happened afterward. Because of that, we cannot know exactly what followed, leaving the incident completely unresolved. Much like many disturbing camping encounter stories, one possibility is that a viewer who knew about the challenge followed him deep into the woods as a joke. But if the person was truly a complete stranger, the situation becomes much more disturbing. Sometimes separating reality from fear is difficult. If something felt wrong during a camping encounter, would you stay or leave? The footage comes from Creepy Travels, a paranormal exploration channel centered on abandoned places associated with strange activity and unsettling camping encounters far from civilization. On March 16, 2026, the explorer enters Witches Woods in the United States, pushing farther into the forest through thick vegetation and muddy ground. Almost immediately, the surroundings feel wrong. The woods are unusually quiet, with no insects, birds, or frogs heard despite the damp conditions. The silence suggests something has disturbed the area, while traces of human presence, including missing cameras and faint tracks, increase the tension as he nears a location connected to an earlier experience.
My God, what was that? My whole body is goosebumps right now. Wow.
Movement suddenly catches the edge of his vision, and he sees what looks like a tall, dark figure crossing the road. No footsteps or other sounds follow, making the brief sight even more disturbing.
Every time I come down here, I hear shit. I had a rock thrown at me when I was standing right there the first time I was out here. But if you go straight through the woods right there, that's where that person was standing up in the clearing at the edge of the woods. Those dogs are just going crazy and they can't hear me. But there's no houses, any.
Then a loud scream carries through the woods. The sound is clear and seems close, roughly 50 to 60 yards away. It immediately unsettles and disorients him, destroying what calm remained and turning the exploration into a tense camping encounter as the unknown appears to move closer.
And hollering again. I've been out here walking up and down. I don't know what it was. Scared the hell out of me because it was loud, very loud. I think when I sleep this time, I'm gonna shut. I could swore somebody just ran across from there over. I've got to get my better flashlight. I know for sure the scream come this way though, because I didn't shut my back tailgate. It was open, so I heard very clearly. Yeah, I'm shutting my tailgate. I figured since that fire was going still, it'd been all right until I woke up. And then I was going to shut it all up. I was just tired. Oh well.
After returning to his vehicle, he attempts to rest, but more loud screams are heard, now seeming even closer. The repeated noise suggests that whatever is producing it remains nearby, and he notices a figure moving quickly across the road. The sight lasts only a moment and is difficult to make out, but it deepens the sense that someone or something else is in the area. The night develops into a sequence of disturbing events, beginning with unnatural silence and evidence of recent activity, before escalating to shadowy figures and repeated screams. The experience becomes harder to explain, while the combination of sounds and visual sightings creates a constant feeling of being watched. By the end, the explorer remains inside his vehicle and refuses to continue farther. The remoteness of the location, along with the unexplained activity, leaves one question. Was what he encountered human, natural, or something less understood? If a camping encounter like this seemed to be moving closer to you, would you remain inside or try to leave immediately? On September 28, 2023, Connor Outdoors pushed stealth camping further by spending a night near Thunder Bay International Airport, creating a situation that could become a tense camping encounter. The evening started calmly, with Connor walking toward the airport, blending with passing vehicles and pedestrians, and acting as though he was using his phone. But after he entered a section of young woods beside the airport, the mood changed entirely. This was not pristine wilderness. Trash and pieces of discarded plastic were scattered through the brush, suggesting the hidden area had been visited before. Even so, Connor kept moving, looking toward nearby hunting land and occasionally catching flashes from security lights in the distance.
I swear I just heard an alarm going off, but I'm guessing it's not for me. There's that worrisome thing that being this close, that they might actually have some kind of sensor. I'm sure if you can hear it, I can hear it. But then I'm thinking, all the needles I just found over in that pile over there, which is scary. And I'm not doing nothing bad, so if they want to come out and I get busted, it's going to really suck.
The forest seemed full of activity as shadows lengthened with the setting sun. Connor eventually chose a spot near a gate along the airport boundary, concealed among trees but still exposed. There he cooked a meal of noodles, allowing the warm smell to blend with the wet, earthy scent of the woods. He arranged a place to sleep, and once darkness settled in, the sound of aircraft and occasional voices reminded him he was not entirely by himself. Connor initially tried to rest, using the airport noise as background sound, but during the night, something suddenly woke him and sent fear through his body.
There's something in the woods.
There was an unusual rustling among the trees, followed by a shadow moving beyond the light, appearing far too quickly and far too close.
I'm trying to scare rid of it away. Get! Hope it's not a porcupine, that might hurt.
Connor yelled into the darkness in an effort to frighten it away, but whatever was nearby did not seem to leave. He also noticed an odd musky odor in the air, similar to a fox, but stronger and more disturbing. The minutes dragged by as each cracking branch and movement in the leaves made him tense. Eventually, the stress became unbearable. Connor quietly packed his belongings, collected his equipment and trash, left nothing behind, and slipped out of the woods into the silent, shadow-filled night. By morning, the airport appeared normal, as though nothing unusual had happened there. But Connor carried the memory with him. Stealth camping requires patience and awareness, but it also depends on knowing when to trust your instincts after something unexpected happens, especially during a camping encounter that never fully explains itself. If a camping encounter like this kept escalating around you, would you remain and observe, or leave before the situation became worse? Posted on March 17, 2021, the video follows CJ Faison, creator of a YouTube channel known for nighttime explorations using the Randonautica app, joined by his cameraman, Dylan. CJ returns to an isolated rural location that made them uneasy. Despite its remoteness, the area has a reputation for high crime, where illegal activity can happen unnoticed. That reputation creates tension before they arrive. They return after viewers spotted details during an earlier visit, a possible figure beside a tree and a laptop-sized bag left unopened. On the drive back, CJ believes the bag could not have appeared there by chance. Someone had placed it. Because of his experience in rural areas, he doubts the footsteps heard earlier came from animals, increasing his concern before entering.
Can we talk for a second on a real note? What happens if we run into somebody? We need like a keyword or something, so this way when we do run into somebody, we don't make it that obvious what we're about to do.
Yeah, I say this. We're going to say pineapple juice.
Pineapple
Yep,
juice?
it's the only thing I'm going to remember when I'm scared. If I say pineapple juice, it means we need to get the hell out of there. All right. Put my flashers on, lock the door. We got to be forward thinking enough to understand that if someone does ride down the road and they see this car, we want them thinking that we're in a different trail system. That's why we're doing this, parking far away, gonna do a walk. I just think it's a little bit safer. We just, what the f was that, Dylan?
I thought that was you.
Negative, that was not me.
I swear I thought that was you.
Absolutely not me. So out of the corner of my eye, I got my flashers on. Oh, there's some car coming now. There was what looked, in my opinion, like someone ran behind the car and they just kind of, I don't even know, like a psycho laugh. I have no idea. Holy shit.
CJ and Dylan establish a code phrase for danger. They leave their vehicle far from the trailhead to reduce the chance of being followed, then enter the woods. Almost immediately, unusual sounds interrupt the silence. The hazard lights on their car flash, and CJ thinks he sees someone run behind the vehicle before hearing a disturbing laugh. A passing SUV adds to the suspicion that someone is watching them.
See that? That's both sides, bro. Bro, that is gone. I swear to you, that's gone. There's no bag around that thing. When I set it back down on the ground, where did I put it? Was it? That's what I thought. Look at that. What the hell, bro? Look, it's shot. There's literally, like, it might only be BB gun shots. Where the f would that thing have gone? It's like, that's not gonna just grow legs and walk the f away. There's a mother arrow. There is a mother arrow. Look at that. What the f was that? Holy shit. Look at this. Whoa. There's tree limbs and shit down everywhere, but it's the woods. Oh, it's a bunch of tires. Dude, there's bottles everywhere. Look at that. Look at those green ones, dude. Oh, bro, there is a shoe. Look at this. That is someone's shoe, bro. It's something moving. Huh? Tell me that don't sound like somebody. What the was that? Light off, light off, light off, light off, light off. Sound like a whip. Yeah. Hello? Bro. Why? Well, if it's an animal, hopefully it'll start running, right? What would you do if somebody said hello back? Bro, there's no way there's anybody in these woods this time. See, it's like an animal. And then there's a car. Oh. Just wait for that car to pass by and I'm gonna turn back on this light. I think we're off the trail enough. They're stopping near the car. They're stopping near the car. Turn your light off, turn your light off. Turn your light off. What is that? What the bro? I told you there's someone up there. See that light? Do you see that light? I don't think the camera's picking it up. Shit. There's a car, car. Stay right here. Don't stop, don't move. There's a car. That was close. That was way too close. Okay. Alright. Go ahead and turn around slowly. And watch. Oh, sir? We're literally leaving right now, okay? We're not trying to trespass. If we're trespassing, I do apologize. We're gonna turn around right now and start walking away.
At the site, the bag has disappeared. Instead, they find garbage, an old shoe, and an arrow lodged in a tree, pointing into the forest. Nearby dogs bark. Sounds of movement seem closer. When another vehicle slows near their car, the danger feels real. Something unseen makes them retreat, apologizing aloud as they run. Even after leaving, the sense of being watched remains. There is nothing here that confirms anything paranormal. The danger seems human-hidden people, vehicles, and signs of activity in a place that should be empty. When exploration enters active territory, how can you tell when curiosity has already taken you too far? The video was posted by the YouTube channel Geechee Uncharted on November 12, 2024, where the creator records unscripted journeys into abandoned and hazardous places. The channel centers on locations where history and mystery overlap, often entering areas most people would rather avoid until this expedition shows how quickly uncertainty can become danger.
I'm going to trespass on private property. My purpose here is that I'm going to find a lost World War II bunker. This road is definitely being used. Up there is where the bunker is. It's looking like the trenches of the Great War. Wasteland. Yeah, that's close. Fuck, someone's coming. Holy shit. It's him. That was fucking close. Okay, that's him. He's coming back. That's not his truck. Oh, but that's a truck. That was two other workers.
The mission was straightforward but risky. Locate a forgotten World War II bunker buried deep in the wilderness, even though the property was privately owned, carrying only a camera and basic equipment. The creator continued. Aware of the danger, a well-traveled logging road suggested other people might be close, increasing tension. That concern intensified when a vehicle suddenly came down the road, drove past, and then seemed to circle back.
Okay, I have to climb up this shit. We have to get up this hill. I have to crawl. This ground looks really unstable. This was the worst way to do this. Where's my sheath? This sheath for my spear? If I fell on this, I'd die, man. yeah. I don't know where my sheath is. Okay. Dude, these brambles are overgrowing these rocks. I don't know if I can get up this. Oh my god. Oh shit. Oh no. This might get precarious. I don't have a choice. I have to keep going. Dude. No. No. Hold on. My shoulder cramped hard. That almost killed me, dude. I don't remember which way, but I'm bleeding. I think I came through there, but it's a cliff, so there's gotta be a way around this cliff. I can get out. I know. The road's right up there. Okay, never mind. You probably just bore witness to my worst idea ever. I would have gotten there faster by taking the road, and I wouldn't have nearly died. I'm not gonna be able to find this bunker with just my phone as a flashlight, man. I gotta turn back.
Believing he might have been spotted, the creator hid, uncertain whether the person nearby would return. The ground soon became treacherous, forcing him to crawl up a steep slope. A dangerous slip left him hurt and shaken. As daylight disappeared and no safe path remained, he gave up the search. The bunker stayed hidden, but the message was clear. The threat wasn't supernatural, it came from the situation itself. Trespassing, unstable ground, and nearby people combined to create a nearly fatal result. The question is, how often do explorers confuse curiosity with control until the environment shows them otherwise? Bear runs the YouTube channel Exploring with Bear, where he records trips into places connected to unexplained events. In a video posted on December 5th, 2025, his content combines historical background with on-location exploration, leading viewers through abandoned properties and areas believed to contain lingering activity. But during one winter night, Bear and his friend B came across something more frightening than any ghost story on a freezing, snowy evening. The pair reached an isolated place locally called the Haunted Forest. The mood felt uneasy, not just because of the location's reputation, but because they felt someone was watching them.
We are currently in the Haunted Forest. We just got here, just started snowing. But right when we started walking up the trail, this car was going super slow. And it pulled in and turned the lights off, and it's been sitting there for a minute. It's a little suspicious. Anyway, this place has crazy activity in it, from voices to shadow figures to little kids' voices. So there is a cemetery tucked away back in here, where I've also found some crazy things, and like some kind of hooded figure one night. It was crazy, man. I injured myself running that night. So I will be running the K2 once we get in the cemetery. Not only that, B's got the thermal camera hooked up to his phone.
We got 2 little pocket knives.
2 little pocket knives.
And our muscles.
So that didn't make B feel any better either.
As they started up the trail, a vehicle appeared behind them, traveling slowly before stopping and turning off its lights. The quiet that followed, interrupted only by falling snow, changed the atmosphere. The woods were associated with reports of mysterious voices, dark figures, and disturbing noises. Bear remembered an earlier trip to a hidden cemetery nearby, where he had seen a hooded person and run away in panic, hurting himself during the escape, carrying basic gear, including a K2 meter, a thermal camera, and small knives. They kept moving farther into the forest despite discomfort.
Man, we'll be able to see.
Okay, see, I got the camera right there.
Oh yeah.
And see, that's the trail we're walking on.
Yeah, it's still a little warm. Okay, it's refreshing. Getting a read. Ooh, is that little spots? Look, there's a little spot right down there. Right back there. Eyeballs? Okay.
Dude, look how the path lights up. Isn't that crazy?
That is cool.
Why does the path light up?
What?
There's something.
Put it in front of the camera. What'd you see?
I went too fast. Something.
Ooh.
There's something up there. Something's moving up there.
Do you hear that sound?
Yeah, something's moving.
I keep hearing crap. Man, this place is so spooky at night. What is that noise, man? That is really close. And where they came from, the direction is a dead end. You know what I mean? Yeah, that means they were sitting way down there for a while and then seen us, turn their lights off and pulled in across behind us.
While following the trail, the thermal camera started detecting unusual heat areas along the ground and brief visual disturbances suggesting movement they could not see. Thoughts of the suspicious car remained with them, making the experience seem less accidental and more like someone was deliberately tracking them. They continued toward the old cemetery, a location Bear connected with a previous disturbing find that appeared similar to human remains near an aged grave.
So, there was like some organs back here one night, man.
Some what?
Organs? There was organs back in the back of the cemetery. It looked like organs. It was a pile of organs or something. Same place where the hooded figure was. That's where we're about to go. Right up here, man. Right up here.
Where's it at?
Right in there behind those bushes, man. They were standing right in the middle back there. Oh. Whew. Thermal.
Yeah, some of these are really hot. Some are showing hot, and some are not. But then look out there. You know what I mean? You see a whole bunch.
Yeah, check out how old some of these stones are. Some of them you can't even read no more. 1899. The organs were right back here. Shh. Did you hear something moving? That path, if those people are coming, comes right down back through there.
Too cool.
Well, hold on, dude. I thought I just seen a light down on the path. I'm telling you, I feel like
I'm being watched.
Yeah, I feel like there's somebody right down here, man.
With tombstones dating to the late 1800s, the feeling that they were being observed became stronger. A light in the distance and unfamiliar sounds from the woods increased the tension, making the location seem threatening instead of deserted. Eventually, they chose to head back toward their truck. During the return walk, the same vehicle appeared again, slowly following behind them.
There's a light back in the forest. Car.
Creepy slow.
Super duper creepy slow. What are they doing? That's that same people creeping. I told you, man. Something ain't right about these people.
I think we should go back to the truck.
Yeah. My camera's not focusing. What is that? Do you
What?
see that?
Huh?
Is that something on my... Is that the ball cap on my... No, there's something on my truck, man. Hold on. Let me get these doors unlocked. Man, that is freaking creepy. Hey, hurry up, B.
What?
Look. Hurry up. Just grab that. Get in. So, it had this belt. Look at this freaking baby dump. Look at that.
When they reached their truck, they discovered a disturbing item resting on it, a small baby doll secured with a belt, with strangely colored eyes and taped hands. Its placement seemed deliberate, almost like a warning or message. They left the forest immediately. Although neither was harmed, both were badly shaken and convinced someone had followed them and tried to frighten them intentionally. By the end, The behavior of people seemed far more terrifying than any paranormal story, leaving them certain they would never come back. If you were in the same situation, alone in darkness and confronted with something like this, what would you have done? The next unsettling video was posted by Rob Outdoor, a UK solo camping and van life channel focused on overnight trips in remote locations. The channel records situation, often revealing how quickly unease and risk can grow during stealth camping. The footage was filmed on July 13, 2024, at a rural woodland parking area in the United Kingdom. As evening approaches, Rob follows a bumpy road into a small forest parking lot. Immediately, he feels something is wrong. Several vehicles are already there, many occupied by lone men sitting inside.
Seen single male occupants. At least 2 vehicles with single male occupants. I'll show you at some point later on how bad the road is on the way in here. And you can't tell me people want to drive down this car park just to walk their dogs into stealth mode. So that car there, single male occupant. Car next to it, guy just walking his dog, and the car next to that, single male occupant. What are people doing here? What do people, if they're not, I mean, what am I doing here, to be honest? What am I doing here? Oh God.
The number of cars, combined with the distance between them, seems unusual for such an isolated rural place at that hour. After pulling in, Rob shifts into stealth mode and considers how strange it is that so many people would gather there just to walk dogs or take a stroll. Although his uneasiness continues growing, he chooses to remain and starts preparing dinner inside the van, hoping things will settle as darkness arrives.
Got a little treat for pudding, some ice cream, chicken tikka masala, pakoras, naan bread. Yes, I spilt some. A bit more naan bread cooking in there. And a beer. This place is weird. Bloke in the van's just pulled up, he was parked there. He was parked there. He walked down there. See him? So that bloke walked down there and then walked behind my van where I was cleaning my stuff. Look at that bloke there, look. Trying to look in the back of my van.
While arranging equipment near the back of the van, Rob spots a man passing closely behind him. The stranger tries to look through the rear doors, remaining there long enough to make the encounter uncomfortable. Soon afterward, the man walks over and starts an awkward conversation.
Yeah, just well, yeah, just doing a bit of dinner, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. How about yourself? You alright?
Yeah.
Yeah. Much about?
Not today, actually.
No.
Saw a couple, but always see some down to us relative.
Yeah. No, it's nice to do, isn't it? I'll say it's nice to get away, isn't it? Yeah. I just had a curry and it seemed like a good idea at the time, but not so much anymore.
Yeah. It's clearing up.
It is. It's a bloody. Yeah. Wasn't not ideal, to be honest. All right, mate. No worries.
I don't mind dinner.
Have a nice evening.
And you.
Cheers. Ciao. You can't tell me that's not weird. Just hovering down here. He was hovering down here. This is where the other guy come. Now when I was trying to show you, when I was in the back of the van, he was hovering here trying to look inside my van. But he said he'd just been deer hunting. Alright mate, that's what you call it.
His explanation for being there seems vague and difficult to believe. Although the interaction stays calm, its timing and unclear purpose make Rob uneasy. Once the man walks away, Rob still feels as though someone is watching him.
Current situation is, that thing there has just pulled in. That Golf has been there since we turned up, and there's that camper van just turned up as well. That Golf, a man still sat in the driver's seat, got his lights on, and he's been here for ages, just sat there. So this is the situation earlier on. Back door open, so you can't exactly go through there. 2 blokes come through, walking through here. They were hovering here, stood in this little area, trying to peer into the van. He was down here earlier on,
Look what's back, people. Look what's back.
More vehicles arrive and change positions. One van seems to leave and come back several times, while other cars sit with engines running and headlights on. People repeatedly remain in the same areas, making it impossible for Rob to feel hidden or comfortable inside his van. As Rob gets ready to sleep, things become more intense.
5 minutes ago, 2 cars have been round, popping their horns. The motorhome that was here, he's bottled it and he's gone. It's now 11:30, and I'm not in the same car park. I've moved on. Just getting into bed, just like as I said, a couple of cars turned up. One held its horn on in the main car park for ages, and then he pulled next to the other camper van that was there, held its horn on for ages, and then pulled up next to me, held its horn on for ages, and then as it went to move out the car park, another car pulled in. So at that point I thought, I'm getting out of here.
Several nearby vehicles start intentionally blasting their horns, sometimes holding them for long stretches. One car stops beside the van and keeps honking while laughter can be heard from inside. By then, the activity no longer seems accidental. It appears deliberate. Later that night, Rob chooses to abandon the parking area and drive somewhere else to sleep. The next morning, he explains that although no direct danger occurred, the constant attention, repeated vehicle movement, and deliberate noise made the location feel less safe. He says staying there would probably have meant losing sleep while becoming stressed, and by following his instincts, he believes leaving was the correct decision. Situations like this leave questions about whether the behavior was coincidence, harassment, or something more intentional. In places expected to be quiet and deserted, how can you tell when it is time to trust your instincts and leave? More than a decade after his last trip, a solo camper returned to an isolated mountain area in the American Southwest, somewhere he had intentionally avoided since one unsettling night years earlier. That evening, he made camp, lit his lantern, cooked a meal, and tried to relax. Even so, the forest felt wrong. A nearby couple said their dog had become terrified earlier, behavior they claimed never happened without reason.
We are out in the middle of nowhere, and I actually camped here about a decade ago. A situation happened that kind of freaked me out. I'll explain it in a little bit. There is something right here behind the camera.
News of a bear sighting only increased the unease. As darkness moved in, memories returned. 10 years earlier, during a storm in the same region, he had heard something unforgettable, a woman screaming. It did not resemble an animal call or the wind, but sounded like a person crying out in terror.
Less than a mile from where I'm at right now. It started raining, so it was already kind of the end of the weekend. We just started packing up. So we're packing things up in the truck, and it's raining on us pretty bad. Just down to the last couple items, getting ready to go, and I hear a scream, and I know it wasn't an elk. I know what an elk sounds like. I don't know. I grab my, I'm sorry, I'm not allowed to say that word. I don't know. I kind of looked for a while. So eventually we decided to just leave. I had nightmares about that for a while. It just bothered me so much to know that this woman needed help.
Then, without warning, it stopped. He could not tell where it came from, and there was no sign of anyone nearby. He left that night and carried the uncertainty for years, troubled by the possibility that someone had needed help. While exploring nearby trails, he found something disturbing.
Those bars were supposed to be bent over to hold the lid on, but in comparison, you can see the fire. The thing's pretty big. It's probably the size of a coffin, which I sure hope that is not what that is. I don't know what it is, though. Please comment, or even has an idea what it could be. Please comment. Let me walk around it so you can see.
A large metal container, about the size of a coffin, partly buried near his campsite. Higher on the mountain.
Oh, well, you had to go. All right. Well, you can see him peeking his head up back there.
He discovered a collapsed tunnel cut into the rock, blackened by fire marks and showing signs of human activity. Standing inside, surrounded by stone walls, He realized something frightening if someone screamed in this place. Nobody might ever hear it. The coffin-like dimensions and strange placement of the metal container raise questions about its purpose, especially in an isolated area with evidence of past human activity nearby. It does not clearly look like camping gear or an ordinary storage container. If you found something like this deep in the wilderness, would you keep investigating or leave immediately for your own safety?